Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The number of positive COVID-19 cases in the CNMI continues to rise. Also tonight, one man's heroic acts saved a child's life. And the CNMI House has passed the 2021 budget bill. In sports, don't flip out, but one league finishes their regular season. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
Thank you for being here with us.
For finding ways to keep things happening.
For making things feel a lot better.
Thank you.
Energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I can say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life.
Thank you for staying strong with us.
And for us.
Thank you for always connecting.
For keeping us together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding us
That despite this distance,
We are still better together.
Docomo Pacific, better together.
For all those going out each day, doing what they can to hold us all together, we're here to help those helping us all by keeping our lights on.
Off a day to Ruwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, August 14th, 2020. We start off tonight with breaking news as there is an active search for a mariner who may be in trouble. Officers from the Emergency Operations Center are seeking help from the public. Around 3:45 p.m. today, a request for rescue was made over Marine 16 radio. EOC officers state they have no current location of the vessel and are asking for help or how many individuals are on board, as it was just heard over the radio. If you have any family or friends that went out on a vessel and have not returned, please call EOC at 237-8000 or 664-8000. One new COVID-19 case confirmed today on Saipan, and this one appears to have come from within our community. CHCC says the individual was scheduled for surgery and was identified as COVID positive through a mandatory pre-operation screening. This case is different than recent ones because it was not identified upon arrival, as almost all of the recent cases have been. According to CHCC, the individual has been moved to the designated isolated area and contact tracing has been initiated. CHCC states the case is still under investigation and more information will be released at a later time. The CNMI total is now 50, 25 identified through port of entry screening, 15 from known contacts, and now 10 through community screening. Due to increased cases on Guam, the CNMI is now requiring all incoming passengers to Saipan, regardless of the point of origin, must quarantine for a minimum of 5 to 7 days at the designated quarantine facility. Travelers requesting essential work approval will be evaluated based on a variety of factors. One man's heroic efforts yesterday at Sugar Dock saved a child's life. Take a listen. It's a parent's worst nightmare. A day at the beach, an ambulance approaching the site, only to find your child has almost drowned in the ocean. That was the scene Thursday at Sugar Dock in Susupe. A local fisherman, Ben Aldon, saw two children in the ocean next to the dock, one floating on his back with the head submerged underwater and the other trying to pull the child to safety. That's when Aldon responded and his heroic efforts put air back into the child's lungs.
We were out there looking both sides of the dock to see if there's a fish going in or out. And one of the guys started saying down towards the water, pull him in, pull him in. So apparently there's another baby there trying to pull the other one closer to shore. And when I look down, there's bubbles already and the head of the baby is submerged. There's bubbles, water coming out. So I immediately jumped down and I picked him up, took him to the sand, and I started kind of decompressing the chest. And then that's when bubbles, water coming up. And then the poor kid started breathing. You know, I did that for almost like 2 minutes. Then turning him side by side. Then the kid started breathing back.
Oh, good.
Towards maybe like 2-3 minutes later on, he cried. So I was relieved.
DFIM's medics arrived soon after and transported the child to CHCC, where he was admitted to ICU for close observation. Aldon says the child looked to be between 8 to 12 months old, and when asked if any adults were present,
just after the whole incident, I learned that the mom is with them, and she was, like enjoying herself, not watching after the kids.
A witness near the scene stated the mother kept approaching him and others in the area asking for beer, adding the mother appeared to be intoxicated. According to DPS, the child is in stable condition at this time. Opening arguments today in the case of the United States versus Rhoda Mayor Ephraim Adelig and his co-defendant, Evelyn Adelig. The jury selection wrapped up in federal court yesterday around 3:30 p.m., where 12 jury and 4 alternatives were impaneled. In the courtroom of Chief Judge Ramona Manglonia this morning, opening statements were made by Attorney David Baines, representing Mayor Ephraim, Attorney Stephen Pixley, representing Evelyn, and Attorney Eric O'Malley, representing the government. Today's trial recessed with the 4th witness that was called to the stand, Travis Hurst, who is the Office of the Public Auditor Investigator. He is the prosecutor's key witness and answered questions about documents that were published into evidence pertaining to the travel records of Ephraim and Evelyn. Ephraim Adelig and Evelyn Adelig are facing charges involving government-funded trips taken at different times in 2018 to Guam, Palau, the U.S. mainland, South Korea, and Saipan. The trial is scheduled to resume Monday at 8:15 a.m. The CNMI House passes 2021 budget bill, which includes big cuts to cabinet members and directors. Sally Lemus has the story.
The Appropriations and Budget Authority Act of 2021 was passed by the House of Representatives on Thursday. This bill provides appropriations for operations and activities of the CNMI government for fiscal year 2021. It also includes a salary cut for cabinet members and other executive branch officials. Ways and Means Chairman and author of the bill, Ivan Blanco, says this is an extremely bad fiscal year and everyone must share and carry the burden.
We are forced to cut salaries of hard-working cabinet and agency heads. I wish this was not the case. These are extremely difficult but necessary decisions that we have to make.
The total identified budgetary resources was $144 million, but after deducting all obligation funds, the working budget amounted to $82.6 million. Cabinet members and department directors spoke out before lawmakers, stating that the cut seems targeting and unjust.
What is the logic or intent to very specifically reduce the salaries of just the cabinet and program heads. How did you come about justifying that as a responsible thing to do?
I feel like this body is making a mockery out of me taking my time off to come here and try and testify and try to make some sense into this. We need time to digest what's in this legislation.
I truly understand where we are today in terms of our economic conditions. And I truly understand the need for every single one of us across the Commonwealth to share the pain. I am really bothered, when I read the bill, the budget bill, and I saw that, that this body is really targeting, certain appointed officials.
Moments before the official vote of passage, some lawmakers shared that they thought the bill was unfair.
This bill, it seems that we are handpicking individuals, and I think it's unfair. I think it's unreasonable, irresponsible, that we have to do this on selective individuals.
Although I agree with the bulk of most of the work, I am still not in agreement with Schedule B with the cuts on the cabinet members. As you can see, the proposed cuts brings back the salary of Public Law 7-31, and that's a major cut. Some of them are over $10,000 in cuts.
Representative Tina Sablon reminded her colleagues that the salary cuts aren't proposed as a permanent adjustment.
So what's fair? Adjustments were made, and even so, most of the salaries, even with the rollback, even with the 20% austerity cut, will actually still be greater than any of our salaries. What's fair? Illegal overtime and double pay for appointed officials after U2, during COVID. In some cases, they got paid before their staff. These are facts. What's fair? Over 500 people furloughed across our government, handpicked by their bosses, totally unfairly, in total violation of personnel system rules and regulations, total violation of their rights to due process at the direction of this administration.
11 members voted yes and 9 members voted no. Reporting for KSPN News, I'm Sally Lemis.
News for those still waiting for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance benefits. Governor Torres says the CNMI Department of Labor will be wrapping up this week with a large disbursement of funds.
Around $19 to $20 million will be disbursed today and tomorrow. Nearly additional 3,000 PUA applicants. So we're almost there, but not quite. But we've been getting more folks into helping PUA do the manual inputs. Again, we've seen a lot of applications that has been held for the purposes of incomplete and or need verification on some of the information that's been provided. So I know that to a few, may think that we're taking too long, but at the same time, we want to make sure that the informations are being processed right once.
The last day of community-based testing for COVID-19 on the islands of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota will be Tuesday of next week. The COVID-19 task force, along with CHCC, states the Solgent team from South Korea that has been assisting in running the laboratory specimens for the testing will be returning home on August 20th. The Solgent team has been assisting for the last 90 days. And since April 28th, 12,681 people, or 24%, have been tested for COVID-19 through the initiative. Officials state the August 18th suspension is until further notice. Coming up, Chamorro remains are reburied. More on this after the break.
We need to pick up the food. Let me go so they can get it ready.
Dude, what are you doing?
Calling the restaurant.
No, you can't. It's against the law.
Okay.
No, really. You can get fined $300 for the first offense and $500 for every offense after that.
Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me. You saved me a whole bunch of money.
No problem, dude. I got you. We can still listen to music, though.
Go for it.
Public Law 21-17 prohibits the use of any mobile device while operating a vehicle. This includes, but is not limited to, cell phones, text messaging devices, paging devices, tablets, laptops, video games, and digital cameras. Stay safe, CNMI. Keep your eyes on the road and not on your phone. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the CNMI Department of Public Safety, an equal opportunity provider and employer.
The Tan Su Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. School is back in session for PSS students on September 8th, this time with remote learning as the mode of instruction. Governor Ralph Torres has announced schools are permitted to reopen under the approval and assessment of facilities and plans. The style of teaching can be in person, online, or a hybrid of both. Commissioner of Public Schools, Dr. Alfred Atta, states they will be taking the hybrid approach.
Right now, as we speak, the teachers are undergoing remote training for virtual teaching and learning. We're going to re-engage the community. How do we do this? We are going to give time. When we open up on September 8th, about a month or so, we are going to bring the students and the parent in each day of 10 or less to re-engage them back how to navigate the remote learning of the Blackboard Ultra.
The Blackboard Ultra will be the platform PSS students will be using for remote learning. Commissioner Addis says 90% of these students will be learning from home, while 10% that need additional help will be in the classroom.
The face-to-face will be on a daily basis at the most 2 hours only.
He ensures there is enough personal protective equipment to protect the teachers and students that will be in the classroom, and states the safety measures that are being taken.
We have some supplies on stock right now, and we are procuring some more. We have mass sanitation solutions for the schools, and thermometers. So we have over 300 thermometers. We need 500. So every classroom will have the, the one kind of thermometers. Also, we are going to be helping schools deep cleaning service, a one-time deep cleaning service for the classrooms. We're also going to give out janitorial services so they can help out at the schools with school bathrooms, and more of the biofogger, antibacterial soap, and the no-touch thermometers. So plans are underway. We're just waiting for these devices to come in, and the teachers will be trained on the sanitation safety, school safety measures.
The remains of Chamorros are laid to rest today in Chalancanoa. Sally Lemus brings us this story from the burial site at the Surfrider Hotel.
We've been planning this burial for almost a year. When construction was getting close to being done here, Triple J came to HPO and asked what they needed to do on their part to get this burial to become, to happen.
I'm humbled by the opportunity of being asked to say a few words at this very cultural heritage occasion of the Chamorro people. We also must be respectful of the trails that these forefathers blazed in difficult times and difficult trails for us to tread more easily without challenges, without all of the challenges they had.
We treat these like we would a funeral here. Nowadays, we had police escort. The bodies were prepared, the remains were prepared. We put them in cloth bags and then put them in woven baskets, as you saw. And the ancient ritual, they wrap the bodies in pandanus mats and then they're carried on the shoulders to the burial place. So that's what we did here. We had Indigenous Affairs here with us to lead the procession in here, and we invited Triple J Mr. Jones to be a part of that. And the kulu signifies to everybody on the island that this important event is happening. And at the end, it's also to say goodbye. The chanting and the kulu blowing and wailing is what was observed in ancient times. So we tried to model that as realistically as we could.
It was very spiritual for us because we were all connected. The stars, the sunset, the sunrise, the wind, the wave that they have heard, we also hearing it, we seeing it, and that makes us more closer to them. The message was love. Guaidza,
And Ayo, yes, Guaidza. Ayo, the first chant, it represents the first words that came from our mouths. Ayo, Aya. And then rejoicing.
Before Mama and Papa, right? Yeah. Oh, Ayo, Aya.
The roots culture, all the way to the roots, and we have so much. Our roots keep spreading, and we want to just spread that love.
It's kind of wonderful for us to be able to live in this island with this environment and be able to experience some of the same sunsets and sunrises, moons and stars that they did as they were fishermen and farmers and seafarers, yes, even Gladys stone carvers. But we must thank the Lord for this occasion.
It's very culturally significant to myself. It touches me in every way. Overall, it all boils down to returning this remains back to where we found them.
I just want to express my deepest appreciation to Triple J, Bob Jones and his family, and all his staff for such a beautiful emotional ceremony in respect to the bones that we witnessed today. Probably the only investor, Triple J, that I know from the past that they've been very sensitive to indigenous people culture that they continue to display today, that just like what we witness now.
I really want to commend Triple J for being very proactive and in wanting to do the right thing and to provide a beautiful resting place for our ancestors here. They went above and beyond what was required, so we're very thankful for that.
We have a new segment that profiles student athletes. It's in the KSPN2 Sports Report next.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goats Gym, and today we're going to go over the cable lat pull down. Now what we want to remember with machine-based exercises, there's really no right or wrong way of doing it. There's multiple ways of executing the exercise. What you'll often see is lifters executing the exercise in this fashion, and instead of working the muscles of your upper back, you're just irritating the shoulder joint, which is what you don't want. All right, let's clean that up a little bit. Let's sit upright a little bit more. Okay, as you get a full stretch, bring it down with your elbows coming in. So in general, as you set up this way, you're going to be feeling majority of the impulse right here, which is your lats. Okay. He's getting a full stretch and he's getting a full squeeze in the bottom.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, you know our ultimate game of the week is coming from, of course, the Ultimate Beach League, which of course is coming from the beach at the Fiesta Resort and Spa. Week 3, let's see some action.
Looking forward to next year again.
Right. Everybody's looking forward to next year. We're trying to get through this year first.
Yeah, this year's a rough one.
Well, thank God for Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, without Ultimate,
where would we be?
You'd just be stuck to making poems and stuff. I mean,
Thursday afternoons do not get any sandier than this. Week 3 of the Ultimate Beach Frisbee League. Should have had it. Tied 3-3. White scores on a Natalie Hill, Miko Torres connection. White scores the go-ahead point. Blue bounces back in. It was 4-4. All right, huh? They take the lead on a bomb to Witt, who gets behind the D.
told me he couldn't play.
Oh, nice. Miko, he gets open in the end zone, and it's 5-5. New disc game. Julian sees Witt open, and Blue storms ahead. And when it rains, it pours. Who's covering Caleb? No one. No quitting this dog. White responds in the final seconds, but it was too little, too late. Blue wins 8-7. Playoffs next week. Can't wait. All right. Unfortunately, one of those teams had to eat sand. All right, KSPN2 Sports is proud tonight to introduce a new Friday feature, Young Stars Shining. It's a profile of our up-and-coming student athletes. Young Stars Shining, brought to you by the Tan Su Lin Foundation. Entering 11th grade at Mount Carmel High School, Richard Steele has already been featured in KSPN2 Sports highlights in 5 different sports. He says he seized every opportunity to play.
Well, I just really loved being active, and getting around playing sports was always a lot of fun. Playing with my friends, too, was a lot of fun.
Richard spent last school year at St. Inez, California.
Playing soccer and tennis there was definitely harder. There's just a lot bigger and stronger players there. And but I had a good time playing there because I learned a bunch of things here from coaches, and I used that to help me while I played there.
Acknowledging NMIFA's success in getting players to college, Richard says the NMI has a big advantage. I'm
trying to get, or at least trying to get, a sports scholarship for either soccer or tennis, hopefully soccer. I feel like playing soccer here, it's a lot more fun. You get to travel to different places, and I kind of feel like it's a little bit easier to get noticed out here than like when you're playing in a school with a bunch of other players, like big state, big country. So yeah, I feel like NMIFA does a really good job producing some really good players, and I'm lucky to be playing in a division like that.
Young Stars Shining, brought to you by the Tan Su Lin Foundation.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Go-karts, off-roading, and the driving range now open at Marianas Trekking. Go-kart track will be open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with 50% off when you book online at marianastrekking.com, hours 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Use the promo code HAFA50 to get your discount. Off-roading is open too by reservation. Come on a 90-minute trail ride that is perfect for families. Book online at marianastrekking.com. Golfers, come practice on the driving range. You can even pay online, and we will have the balls waiting for you. Come see us weekends at Marianas Trekking, 323-8735.
Today's high 88, the low 79. Tomorrow, more of the same. Sunrise at 6:02 in the morning and sunset at 6:40. Looking like a nice weekend. It's going to be hot. And that weekend officially begins right now. Have a great one. We'll see you back here on Monday.